Mike and the Mad Dog Radio program as we talked about the world of sports on a Tuesday in New York. Second day of October, the year 2007. Nice to have you aboard. Yes is here too. A little split show today because I'm in Hartford. Mike, of course, is down in the shop. Chat to you about what's happening. 718-937-6666. Lots to do. Good afternoon now, Michael. How are you?
I'm fine, dog.
You know, we got a lot of baseball to get to, but with the Rockies and the series and Joe later on. But we should start with the Mets, who, I mean, listen, I mean, I guess the bottom line is, first off, I don't like this email from Jeff Wilpon. I mean, he's not George Steinbrenner. What Jeff Wilpon now feels he's got to send emails to season ticket holders expressing disappointment. Is that necessary? What were your thoughts about that today?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't have sent one. They didn't send a public statement. They sent it only to Met season ticket holders, I guess,
right.
to the people they had email addresses of. So it's not as bad as if they had sent it out through, you know, the channels that Steinbrenner does. And that is Steinbrenner's deal. He is George Steinbrenner. But you're right. I wouldn't have done it. I think, again, we all knew he was disappointed. We didn't need anybody to tell him he's disappointed. And frankly, the Mets need to get their act together quickly here. And I think they're about to do that within really the span of a couple hours, because they need to get on the same page. A, you don't need the owner making any statements right now. B, you need to present a united front, which Omar wanted Willie back. He wanted him back Sunday. He intended on bringing him back all along. Willie's job was never in doubt here. The idea that it's a story that Willie was coming back is ridiculous, because no one ever said he wasn't coming back. But the thing is, Omar just was hesitant until he talked to ownership about it and said, hey, here's my plan, okay it, and we'll move forward. They were going to do that. I mean, they were going to move forward. Now, I think there's some air that has to be cleared about coaches and stuff like that, and Willie's going to meet the media today, but they need to present a united front here. You don't need them to tell us. We all know you're disappointed. We know how many millions of dollars you lost in the postseason, and we also know that you're embarrassed to heck and that you had to turn October back to the Yankees. So, yes, we understand ownership is disappointed. We didn't need you to tell us that. So you're right. I would not have sent out any statement, any email telling us, you know, we'll do better. Well, we know you'll try to do better. We know all the things you told us. Don't need you to tell us that. But they do need to present a united front here, which they should today, as soon as they finish their meetings. Let Omar talk. Let Willie meet the press, and then everybody can move forward. And the big question they're going to have to deal with, Dog, is this. It's not him coming back. It's about coaches, how much input Willie has into coaches, and whether or not Willie gets to run his own ship. I think that's the thing that Omar and Willie have to discuss here. That's the only thing really of interest, because other than that, you know they're going forward.
Well, Mike, listen, everything you said I agree with. The only thing I would say about the scenario about how the Mets handled this, and I'm not sure if I blame Jeff Wilpon, who obviously doesn't want Willie, doesn't love Willie, because that's obvious, or I blame Omar, because there is no way that Omar should have met the media twice in the last 48 hours without first speaking to the owner about the manager, because he's got to realize that when the Mets collapse at the end of the regular season here and don't make the postseason, he has to understand that the media, guys like you and me and the news guys and everything, Eddie, all these people are going to say, well, let's get a definitive statement about the manager. And Omar, we all know, wants to bring Willie back, should bring him back, deserves to come back. But, I mean, Omar says, well, I got to run it by ownership first. Well, that means if Wilpon doesn't want to bring him back, he looks like the bad guy. Now, the whole thing was handled very poorly.
I agree.
I don't know if I blame Omar for setting these meetings up or blame Wilpon for dangling Willie around. But the two of them, Mike, did a terrible job of doing this in the last 48 hours.
That's the point. I think everybody should. Now, Omar, by nature, is going to be very visible. You know that. I think, though, they needed to all get on the same page here before anybody spoke. And then you wouldn't have had Omar. Omar could have said yesterday, next question. My manager's not an issue here. He's under contract. Next question. Then everyone knows Willie's coming back. He did not do that. He got asked 11 times in the press conference yesterday about Willie and never once gave a concrete Willie is the manager. He kept saying, well, you know, I got to present things to ownership. We all know he's coming back, and we also know they're bitterly disappointed. We don't need Jeff Wilpon to tell us that he's bitterly disappointed. We understand that, for the three reasons why you're disappointed. Your team collapsed, you just lost millions of dollars in revenue, and you turned the whole month of October back to the Yankees. So we know, obviously, you're disappointed.
No, 100% right, Mike. And I'll blame Jeff Wilpon more than I blame Omar, because I think Omar is put in a tough spot. I do think Omar had to get his ducks in a row before that last Sunday game, making sure everybody was on the same page about the manager, regardless of the outcome of that game. But, you know, we needed Fred last week basically to clear the air that one day when Jeff talked to SI.com. Then Fred had to go in there on Friday to give him a pep talk. Now, Jeff today, he's got to stick his hand in there again and send out emails to season ticket holders, and you and I both think that's ridiculous. That is absolutely absurd. The emails got to read from Jeff Wilpon how disappointed he is. Nobody wants to hear from Jeff Wilpon right now, for God's sakes.
No reason to do that. We understand that everybody's disappointed and that you'll try harder. We understand all that. And the bottom line is nobody deserves to go anywhere, folks. This is a team that they built very well, Omar and Willie, in short order. But you cannot tolerate the way last season ended, and then the fact they didn't build on this year. Where they were 3 years ago and where they are now, they have done a good job. The problem is this year we expected a lot more than they gave us, and in this town and any baseball town, you can't gag it up. And they gagged it the last 2 weeks of the season, and then you add the other stuff. And these are the things, to me, Doug, there's two things that have to be answered.
Shoot.
One, Omar has to answer how much he will allow Willie the authority to deal with the composition of his coaching staff.
I agree with that.
And then Willie has to answer how he intends on being able to discipline his young players. To me, those are the two things. I'm not into whether or not he should have brought A, Z, B, D, or Y out of the bullpen in the seventh inning. He has to show us, Willie, that he can deal with these guys and that he can deal with the way Reyes acted, the way Millage acted. That's in Willie's lap. And in Omar's lap is the idea that he's coming off looking like a control freak and that he won't let his manager pick his own coaches.
100% right, Mike. You and we have been on the same page on this for 3 days. I couldn't agree with you more. We all know Omar looked awfully small. I don't want to hear this idea that Downs' personal life may have had something to do with this, because he's had an issue here if it's a personal issue and they didn't like it for years. And all of a sudden at the All-Star break, they decided they didn't like it. They couldn't stand it anymore. They did a bad job of firing him. That was not necessary. Ricky coming in here was a waste. Bernazard in that locker room is stupid. And he could sit there and say, as he did in the papers today, what's the big deal? I talked to Manny Actor for an hour. What's the big deal?
Hey,
he's trying to knock you out of the postseason, you idiot. What do you mean, what's the big deal?
Bernazard and Willie don't get along. Omar's got to make Bernazard go away.
Get him out of there.
I'm not saying he can't work for the franchise. No, he can't be in Willie's face every day.
Absolutely right. He talking Actor for hours last week is absolutely absurd.
And this is the organization's problem, not Willie's problem, but you cannot pull the stunt that Rick Peterson pulled last week.
That's a good point.
You can't hide for 2 weeks while your team is getting tattooed.
You called that.
And then do interviews. And I went nuts on Saturday afternoon after that game when I see Rick doing interviews. I'm watching SNY and I see Rick doing interviews about John Main's performance.
They did a post game that day, huh, Mike?
Wait a second, Rick. And SNY is smart enough in game 161 to do a post game, not in 162. and then go, dog, around the country, around the city, and try and blame it all on Channel 11. You can't blame it on Channel 11.
Oh, that's what they're doing now?
Well, they did that quietly. To be honest with you, they tried to blame it on Channel 11.
Give me a break.
But
what
you
they did
cannot
was
blame it on Channel 11. If Channel 11 goes off the air, you go on the air.
Oh,
that's the way it works.
Disgrace. I mean, listen, Channel 11's not the home of the Mets. That's NY is. That is a joke. You can't be blaming them.
That was one of the worst decisions of all time.
Oh, terrible. That guy should be fired. The guy who made that decision, Mike, should be fired, for God's sakes.
You cannot be Peterson and be in hiding for 2 weeks while your team's getting tattooed, and then front and center when your guy pitches a one-hitter and discuss your program for him when he pitched a one-hitter.
Well, where was he Sunday when Glavine got bombed in the first inning? Where was he that day?
Yeah, like I said, Doug, he looks very, very small, and he looks ridiculous. And again, there's some issues here for Willie and for Omar. They both have done a good job when you take the 3 years of work into account, where the Mets were when they got here to where the Mets are today. They have done a good job.
No question.
They had a terrible finish. They deserve to go forward.
I agree.
Now, this is on their resume, though, so it doesn't give them, basically the keys to the kingdom for 10 years. But Willie has to answer to the discipline problem on his team. He clearly has one. And Omar has to answer to the idea of letting Willie coach and manage and letting him have a coaching staff that's his, not ones that he orchestrates from the front office. You cannot have that.
Now, Mike, I think the bigger picture here, too, and you and I have hinted about this. Let's say it the way it is.
Go ahead.
Jeff Wilpon's got too much influence with what's going on around here. I mean, talking to SI.com, he doesn't like Willie. You can tell that right now. He was in an East Conference calls to trade Kazmir.
He
loves Rick
was.
Peterson. Now he's sending emails to the season ticket holders. Jeff Wilpon's got too much to say. Jeff Wilpon's got to take a back seat, stay away, let Omar run the team. You hired him to run the team. Let Omar run the team. See, he put himself in a situation here, if you think about it, Mike, that basically he's going to decide if Willie stays or not. I thought the whole idea was that Omar was going to decide if Willie stays or not.
Doug, I think the theme is this. Jeff has to let Omar do what he's supposed to do, and Omar's got to let Willie do what he's supposed to do.
Good point.
Both get off each other's back, and don't micromanage the guy in front of you. And, give Willie his own lieutenants. Give Willie his own coaching staff. If he doesn't want Ricky Henderson there, Ricky's gone. If he doesn't want Peterson there, Peterson's gone. If he doesn't want any one of those coaches there, they're gone. That's the way it should be. That's the way baseball should be run.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the Mets did not, Mike, let's say it the way it is. I know they were blindsided by this collapse, but they did not handle this right in these last 3 or 4 days.
They did not.
They looked like chickens with their heads cut off. They have no idea. You don't know who's making the decisions. I run this by ownership. I intend to bring Willie back, but I got to run it by Jeff Wilpon. 2 press conferences. Willie's been dangling for 2 days. He's in the back pages left and right. Peterson, Leonard, and Hayden. The Mets have not handled this. Let's be fair. I know we're being hard on them, but it got to be fair. The Mets have not handled this right at all in these last 48 hours.
I totally agree, and they have to present, as I said, starting today, a united front. And we'll hear from Willie today in the press conference. You'll hear from Willie tomorrow with us. Regular time. That's what Willie wanted to do. His regular spot on Wednesday. That's fine with us.
He's under no obligation to come on when we want him to come on. That's when he wants to come on.
He wants to do that. Today we will have Omar as soon as he's finished with his meetings. I'd say we will have him sometime between 3 and 5. We apologize. He apologizes for the times already being jumbled up today. But, again, he's in meetings with Willie, so we understand that. We'll have Joe Torre today for all you folks getting ready to preview Yankees and Indians. We will have Joe in the 2 o'clock hour today, sometime between 2 and 3. Yankees are working out at the stadium. We will have Bud Selig, thanks to Dog, in the 5 o'clock hour today. So we'll have a good time with the commissioner of baseball. We also have Bob Brenly today, and we'll come back after we take a break. And before we get your calls in, we'll come back and we'll talk about again why Trevor Hoffman is Trevor Hoffman when we come back.
I was going to call you, Mike, but I figured we'd let it go. I was going to call you, but we figured we'd let it go.
Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, he stinks.
The next time anybody mentions him in the same breath as Mariano Rivera, I'll just bring out the tapes. I don't even have to go back. I don't even have to go to Scott Brocious anymore. I'll just bring out the tapes from this year. I'll bring out the tapes from last night.
118, Sports Radio 66.
The Fan, WFAN New York. Minko, and this report brought to you by CBS. A jury has found that Isaiah Thomas and Madison Square Garden sexually harassed the former Knicks executive. A $10 million suit filed by Anuka Brown Sanders. Isaiah not liable for punitive damages. The jury decided that MSG should pay her punitive damages. The Yankees to work out at the stadium. Yanks and Indians will play game one of their divisional series Thursday in Cleveland. Yankee manager Joe Torre with Mike and Chris on the Fan today. Met general manager Omar Minaya later on today as well. Tigers extend manager Jim Leland through 09, denies the allegations. Met pitcher Scott Schoenweiss says he did not receive steroids from Signature Pharmacy in 2003 and 2004. And this report brought to you by Unisum, helping you fall asleep fast and into your natural, healthy sleep cycle so that you wake up restored and refreshed. For sleep that restores, choose Unisum. With reports every 20 minutes, this is John Minko, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Mike and the Mad Dog on the Fan. Dog's up there because he's going to see Springsteen tonight. Springsteen, who will be appearing at Joe Torre's charity dinner this year. How about that? He's honoring Bernie, which will bring the house down. And then he's got Springsteen by himself, no E Street Band, appearing solo at the Torre dinner this year. So I got my invitation last night. Dog and I always go to that. And you know, we celebrities, we're at the table host. They put somebody at each table.
Maybe this year I won't get lost like I did last year. Almost, I guarantee you right now, Mike, I'll find it this year.
That's it. Last year was Mariah Carey, who kept Joe waiting for about was one of the classic things of all time. Kept Joe waiting in the intro. You know, Joe is... He's fine, but, you know, he doesn't really want to be up there by himself.
He is not a stand. No, you're right about that. He was very uncomfortable in that spot.
Joe goes up to intro Mariah Carey, and he's up there, and, like, they're telling Joe to stretch, and basically she left him up there for like 20 minutes before she came out. We were dying. Joe was like, he couldn't take it up there anymore. It was funny to watch. But this year it is Springsteen, and they will honor Bernie Williams. I was thinking that after I got that invitation last night, Doug, if the Yankees go to the World Series this year, do you think they could convince, because wouldn't this be a scene, Bernie to throw out one of the first balls, you know, throw out the ball one night? That would really rock the stadium. I wonder if they would do that or if he would say yes to that. That would be interesting.
Excellent point. I wonder if there's any bad blood there at all.
We would find out. Bernie still swears his career isn't over. But listen, let's get to last night. What a why. Now, we don't have to get to the Pats, who were, again, perfect last night. God bless them. They're 4-0. We'll see them down the road. Let's get to this game. And again, if you ever need any ammunition as a Yankee fan, you know, when last night, when your buddy who follows Barry Bonds everywhere goes up and he's interviewing the Rockies after the game last night, Pedro Gomez, and says, you got to hit off the best closer in baseball. Now, wait a second. Who? I said, was Rivera in the house? You know,
I didn't hear him say that. That's absurd. But that Gomez doesn't know anything about
what he's talking. The best closer in baseball, who blew the Friday night game for them, and then blew Friday night or Saturday? Saturday night game for him, and then blew last night for him. Doug, I know you love the Rockies, and you were rooting for him hard last night. How about this game with Trevor Hoffman, 2-run lead, 13th inning, and he cannot get the Padres home?
Mike, a lot to talk about. This is a classic game. A lot to talk about. Number one is Hoffman. Number two is the play at the plate, because he was not safe.
He didn't touch the plate.
No, he was out. And Bud's going to come in handy at 5:05, because that's another umpiring call. That's a disastrous call in this situation.
Yeah, he did not touch the plate.
Did not, nowhere near it. And I know Bud Black took the high road last night. Well, you know what? Blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is he did not touch that plate.
He didn't go near the plate.
And McClellan took forever to put the safe sign out. Now listen, Padres had no. I don't want to complain. I have no dog in the fight. I hate the Padres. But I mean, that was a terrible call.
What the home plate umpire is supposed to do there is make no signal.
Right.
He's not supposed to signal anything. You see, but he gave him the safe call. You can't give him the safe call right there. He had never touched the plate.
And if he did touch the plate, why did it take him 10 seconds to get the safe call? So he screwed up.
Dog.
He should have given a safe call right away if he touched the plate.
Just a fitting finish to what has been an awful, awful regular season for the umpires.
Oh, they've done a terrible job. And McClellan, I'm not going to kill him on the home run, and Atkins may or may not have hit. I couldn't tell.
That can happen.
I couldn't tell either anyway.
But
I mean,
this
that
is
was
ridiculous.
Dude, I'm not going to blame McClellan. I'm not going to blame
and if he thought he touched the plate, why didn't he give the safe call right away? The call from the home plate umpire is if he hasn't touched the plate and he hasn't been tagged, the umpire makes no call. He's past the plate now. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. He says safe.
And he saw the ball pop loose. No, he did listen, no excuses for Hoffman. You're 100% right. But that McClellan, he's a good umpire. That is an atrocious call.
That takes away, dog, from the fact that Trevor Hoffman blows a 2-run lead for them. A 2-run lead. After blowing Saturday's game to win, he blows this game with a 2-run lead for San Diego. What a devastating defeat for San Diego.
Oh, no question about it, Mike. And again, it was a tremendous game. Peavy didn't do that well either here. Let's knock him some.
He did not do well.
Let's not Peavy. Peavy
didn't do well.
He got him off to a bad start, then they had a lead, and then he killed them again. I thought the biggest, well, obviously before the 13th inning, I thought the biggest hit of the game was that Helton home run to make it 5-4. I thought that they got a run back right away.
Oh, you mean other than the grand slammer, of course.
No. The biggest hit for Colorado was that home run by Helton, which got him right back to 5-4 after being hit by that 5-run fourth inning. I thought that was very significant. And listen, I thought Tulowitzki made a tremendous play by stretching that into a double, Mike, in that 13th inning. I was shocked he took that kind of chance. Now, listen, he was a great base running.
And their outfield defense wasn't good either.
No, I tell Brady Clark was terrible, the whole bit. I don't blame Giles. That was an impossible catch. But, I mean, I was very, very surprised that Tulowitzki took second base. And let's face it, you and I have not been a big fan of his. Let's give Matsui some credit. That's a tremendous double in that situation in the 13th inning.
And how good is Tulowitzki, man? He's
a good player.
He's
very good.
4 hits, terrific player.
Very good. He made an error. They should have called that.
I know, but he's got the whole package. That guy is going to be a great player. He really is.
No, he is. And I thought the Rockies were going to win last night, Mike, only because of karma. I thought they had so much momentum.
How about when he hit the grand slammer?
You know, I still thought they were okay. I'll tell you, give Herchkes credit. He did a tremendous job in that bullpen for them. And give Heath Bell credit because he did a wonderful job for San Diego in the bullpen. A wonderful job. He came on with 2 on in the 7th inning, got out of it. Did a great job. Mike, this was and I'll tell you something else that I was very impressed with. And you're going to be surprised by this because you and I were expecting the worst. TBS did a good job in this game. They stayed out of the way. They didn't go crazy with fan cam and all that garbage. Joe Simpson analyzed a good game. Ripken was better than I thought. Ernie Johnson can add a little something. Don Orsello is not a bad announcer. They did I don't know how you felt about it.
I didn't find them getting.
I was very surprised how good they did.
I didn't find them getting in my way at all, so I didn't have a problem with it. I did not have a problem with it. And I thought you and I both thought they'd be a disaster. Yep. TBS off to a very good start. They went, you know what I also liked about TBS last night? They didn't go to a commercial break after every half inning. Sometimes they went to Ripken and Ernie Johnson in the studio. Ripken added something. He wasn't protecting people. You know why this game, the bonus game, probably wasn't sold.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. You're probably right about that.
Yeah, it was a throw-in game. It wasn't sold, you know?
Mike, wasn't this a great baseball game?
Great baseball game. Great baseball game. The Rockies got a lot of karma. They're playing a team that has a lot of karma. So that's it. And I'll tell you, if we don't get this, is going to remind us, dog, I think of Phillies Toronto. You and I were in the ballpark for those crazy football-like scores.
Yep.
You remember that crazy game? We went to that game. What was that? 15-12?
15-13 or something?
15-13. We were at that game that night. That was unbelievable, that game. We were at a couple of those games.
We went to 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah,
we went to all 3 games. We went to all 3 games in Philly.
That was crazy. You know, Molitor, and it seemed like Molitor and
Ricky Henderson
and Henderson they basically scored every inning. I mean, it was unbelievable. But I think they're going to have that kind of series. You got 2 great hitting parks. and really two tremendous hitting teams. And, Holiday threw himself right into the mix for the MVP. I think the three guys for the MVP in the National League are Holiday, Rollins, and Fielder. Those are the three finalists to me. And I think Rollins is going to win it, but I think those are the three finalists.
I agree. I think you're right.
Last night counts for the MVP, too. Last night, if you want to swing your vote, last night does count.
He had a bad game into that triple because he misplayed the fly ball.
But he had a big, but he always gets a big hit, that guy.
Got
he really
a big
does.
hit. I did not like Bud Black bunting on two separate situations in the extra innings. San Diego is not a great offensive team. One time he bunted and he took the bat right out of Adrian Gonzalez's hands because they walked him. That bothered me. I think in that situation, Mike, on the road in that ballpark, you cannot play for one run there. And I thought bunting twice, giving outs away in that park, I did not know how you felt about it.
Right.
I thought those are bad moves by Black. Plus, I think he probably left Peavy in a little too long. Give me your thoughts on those 2 points.
Again, I don't know about the bunting with that team because they don't score a whole lot of runs.
But one time he bunted, Mike, then they walked Gonzalez. They took the best batter out of the lineup. They walked him.
I agree with that. And the other thing is... what was the second one?
The second one was leaving Peavy in too long.
You're going to try and go with him. He is so much your ace dog. You're going to try and squeeze. You don't want to miss 2 or 3 more good innings. You don't want to leave 2 or 3 more good innings there. You know what I mean? Where you pull them too early. Those guys are always going to get a little extra benefit of the doubt. So I think that always happens. You don't want to pull your ace, your star, too early. And Peavy didn't do a good job, though. No question about it. Here are the odds, dog, to win it all.
One last thing. Let me throw one last thing at you. I know Jamie Carroll got the sac fly, and he also got a hit.
Right.
But it's the same old bit, Mike, and you and I say this all the time. Hurdle, bottom of the 7th inning, off that double by Atkins. And this is a guy who's protecting Helton in that lineup. He takes him out for a pinch runner. It's the bottom of the 7th. It's not the top of the 9th. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. And what happens? Carroll gets 3 more at-bats.
Yep.
That drives me. Charlie does that with Burrow all the time. Leave the guy in the game, will you please?
You have to be very careful of that in the National League. You cannot do that. You cannot do that with big sticks. It's very important. It happens all the time. You're 100% right. It happens all the time in these big games in the National League.
Drives me crazy. And listen, you and I are both on this. It's going to be 8-8, 8th inning of Game 5. Phillies-Rockies is going to be a tremendous series.
15-12. Here you go. Rockies are 20-1 to win the whole thing. The Padres, obviously gone. The Diamondbacks are 10-1 to win the whole thing.
Wow.
The Indians are 6-1 to win the whole thing.
Okay.
The Cubs are 6-1 to win the whole thing.
All right.
The Phillies are 6-1 to win the whole thing.
Right.
The Angels are 5-1 to win the whole thing. The Red Sox are 7-2 to win the whole thing. And the favorites to win it all starting today. The Yankees at 3-1 favored to win the World Series.
Is 3-1 a much bigger favorite than 7-2?
It's the next chip up. 3-1 is one. The next step from 3-1 is 7-2.
Now here's a question for you that you got to answer for me.
3.5 to 1. So the Yankees are favored and the Red Sox are second favorite, very closely second favorite.
Answer me this question. They just saw the Rockies finish up the regular season here, if you want to count last night regular season, winning 14 of 15 games. The National League is even-Steven. Any of these teams could win. The Diamondbacks won 90 games. Rockies won 90 games. All these teams won 90 games. How do you make the Rockies, Mike, 14 less, or whatever that...
The Phillies.
Or the Cubs.
2 reasons.
Or the Cubs.
Well, 2 reasons. One, the team that is... on the road always gets hurt.
Well, the Cubs are on the road, Mike. They're 6-1.
No, I understand that. But my other point is the Phillies they're figuring are hot. And the other thing is that they feel the team that played Monday is at a severe disadvantage in their pitching. That's their premise. So they're giving you a lot. They don't believe in the Rockies is what they're telling you.
I mean,
they put the Rockies, they put a lot of the National League teams in the mix at 6-10 to 1, and they put the Rockies at 20 to 1.
I mean, Mike, I don't know if you can do it just National League pennant, but that's a wonderful
I'll give you the pennant. Here's the pennant right now. Phillies are to win the National League pennant. Phillies are 5-2.
Right.
They're the favorites. Right now, Phillies and Cubs are co-favorites at 5-2.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks are 7-2.
Right.
And the Rockies are 8-1.
Mike, that's a tremendous. You'd have to take that bet.
8-1. They don't believe.
Mike, 8-1. I mean, that's a tremendous. All right, explain to the audience what's that mean. You bet $100, you win $800, right?
Yeah, $800. Yeah.
Mike, that is a tremendous
Now, here's the
play.
American League. The Indians are 4-1.
Right.
The Angels are 3-1. The Red Sox are 8-5, and the Yankees are 7-5. So
the Yankees and Red Sox are pretty
very
close.
heavy favorites.
Yeah. All right.
Heavy favorites. And to win it all, the first three American League teams are the three favorites to win it all. The Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Angels. The feeling in Vegas is that whoever wins among those three teams will win it all.
Yeah.
That's what Vegas is saying. And the Yankees open the postseason, Doug, which is why I did this. The Yankees open the postseason as the favorites to win it all.
Right. I tell you, the Rockies are a good play, though, especially in the National League.
Red hot.
Red hot. We come
Red
back.
hot.
Red hot. Mike and Chris, 137, Sports Radio 66.
The Fan, WFAN New York.
Now, Willie Randolph will return as Met manager next season. That from General Manager Omar Minaya just moments ago. The Mets holding news conferences out at Shea Stadium. As a matter of fact, Omar Minaya will join Mike and Chris on the Fan later on today. The Yankees are working out at the stadium today. They'll open their divisional series with the Indians Thursday in Cleveland, and Yankee manager Joe Torre will join Mike and Chris on the Fan later on today as well. Ruling made official this morning in a Manhattan courtroom, a jury's verdict finding that Isaiah Thomas at Madison Square Garden sexually harassed former Knicks executive Anuka Brown Sanders. It is holding MSG liable, however, not Isaiah. Isaiah says he will appeal. The jury says the Garden must pay punitive damages. And the Tigers extend manager Jim Leland through the year 2009. This report brought to you by Panasonic and 20th Century Fox. Brace yourself for superpower thrills and spectacular action with Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, available on DVD and Blu-ray October 2nd. It's fantastic fun for everyone, rated PG. With reports every 20 minutes, this is John Minko, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Here at the Fan, Joe Torre, Omar Minaya, Bob Brenly, Bud Selig, all to come today. Willie Randolph tomorrow. The Mets making it official, Dog, just minutes ago, the official statement, so they could get that past that. And as we said to start the show, they shouldn't even have had to deal with this, but they kind of caused this themselves. They officially made the statement that their manager, who has 2 years left on his contract, is coming back next year, when really no one, except for Omar's hesitation, would have thought otherwise, to be honest with you.
I cannot believe, and I know you want me to blame Omar. I think it's Wilpon, but I'll put the blame on Omar, to be fair.
I think they should have stayed out of the media until they were ready to make and they were ready to make it. But I just think Omar basically was saying, hey, it's 99%, guys. You want to just wait until I give you the 100%? It's a 99%, but that's probably what he shouldn't. He just should have waited until he had talked to ownership before he, put the stamp on next year.
The thing is, Mike, he had two press conferences. He didn't have one. He had one Sunday and he had one on Monday.
Well, Sunday they got him in the locker room after the game, yeah.
And then Monday he has another one. Well, can I talk to my ownership first? I mean, you should have talked to ownership Omar long before a year.
And Willie will meet the media today, and we'll be able to jump in on that, so we will do that later today.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets had just an unbelievably bad 17, 18 days. And if you look the way the Rockies have played, 14 of 15, and I know they've been a little lucky, but gee whiz.
No luck, Dog, when you win this much. They've been great.
Oh,
They've been great.
I felt good for Helton. He's been there for a long time. He's always been on a bad team. Felt good for Helton last night.
They've been great. Congratulations to them.
I'll say this, and this was brought to my attention, and it was a very fair point by some Met fans today who were into baseball, and I watched it 2 or 3 times today.
What's that?
You could tell, I agree with you about Hoffman. But at least Hoffman was basically in tears after the game. Glavine, well, it's not devastating, it's disappointing. And a lot of Met fans said, you know what, I wish Glavine had the same emotion that Hoffman did. I know it's a different kind of game, and Glavine, sat there for 3 hours before he had to say anything because the game wasn't over yet. But let's face it, Mike, Glavine was almost a little blasé about how poorly he pitched, while Hoffman was crushed last night.
See, I think it killed Tom, but I don't think Tom wanted you to see that it killed him.
But see, the fans
can't
want you
be
to.
as good
But the
as-
fans want you to. See, here's the thing. Fans want to know that you're hurting about it as badly as they are.
I agree. I agree. But I think that Tom's not going to show you that. And do I think it really crushed him? Yeah, I think it crushed him. I think all you had to do was see his face when he put his glove down in the dugout, and you could just see in his eyes how upset he was about what was going on. Hey, here's a guy, dog, who's been doing something for 20 years, who's doing it well enough to go to the Hall of Fame, who's won 300 games. You think that would want to walk off the mountain that way? Oh,
yeah.
God.
I mean, and again, you could tell already he's not going to be back in the Mets next year.
No, and the Mets, it's his option, so the Mets are going to have to get him out of that because it's a player option for $13 million.
Yeah,
so,
and the Mets cannot. I mean, and
the
the
Mets are
idea,
going to have to
and
give him
I
a
know
couple
he's
million
buddies,
as a parting gift.
right? And I know the Mets are buddies with Wilpon. He's Glavin's buddies with Wilpon. It's almost like they're best friends. So I mean, you
can't bring him back though, because the Mets need to
can't.
get younger, and they need to get younger right there. Glavin, the handful of guys, Sean Green, he's gone, and he didn't do badly down the stretch, but he's gone. And LaDuca, he's gone. I mean, although there is a shortage of catches, they're not bringing LaDuca back. I
agree.
And Glavin's not coming back. They can't bring Glavin back. If Glavin pitches next year, he pitches for the Braves.
And I wouldn't bring El Duque back either if it was my team.
I would not either. You got to get younger. You desperately, whether you want to go after Johan Santana, whether you want to try and trade Beltran for a young starter, you have to get younger. You have to.
And by the way, Mike, those rumors are continuing. Don't ask me how these people who are telling me know about it, but I'm keep hearing this thing about Castillo. We're going to have to ask Omar about it with Reyes. And you made a good point yesterday. Maybe we'll learn about Castillo and what the Mets feel about the Reyes relationship if, in fact, they re-sign Castillo as a free agent second baseman.
If the stuff if Castillo has a hand in Reyes' actions, and listen, he can only get so much blame. Reyes is an adult.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay? Then he doesn't come back.
You're right, though. I mean, Reyes is an adult. He's responsible for his own behavior.
And Willie has got to do a better job of disciplining. I think that's the one place the celebrations, which have annoyed the other teams. And I'm not saying you take away all enthusiasm. You don't. But there's a right way and a wrong way. And the lackadaisical play that has went on in the season, went on in Houston with Reyes. Yes, he dealt with it, but it didn't get through to Reyes because you saw it from Reyes again this weekend. And then Millage, who I don't know what's going on upstairs there. He doesn't chase Dontrell Willis's ball down. He doesn't know how many outs there are on Saturday. Yes, I know he had 2 homers on Saturday, but he doesn't even know how many outs are in the middle of the game. I mean, just crazy stuff in that game.
Absolutely. I mean, Willie, also 3 guys stealing third base with 2 out. I mean, that was asinine. Willie does have some issues.
Lack of authority there.
Yeah, has some issues. We'll get your calls in at 718-937-6666.
And we do have a